Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us for WFIN News 2 at 4 p.m. We're following breaking news, several across the upstate right now. We first dive into a small plane crash in Georgia. We do know this happened in Gainesville, Georgia, just an hour ago. We do know this plane made a small crash or had made an emergency landing in the roadway in Gainesville, Georgia. And that they say deputy or police and other law enforcement were called to Browns Bridge Road near at Pearl Nix Parkway, which is near the Golden Corral, after a plane had landed in the roadway. We do know, according to police, the plane had crashed into multiple vehicles, causing minor injuries, according to FlightAware, which is NT or N229 TT, which is a Beechcraft Bonanza, took off from the Laguerre Memorial around 12:05 before landing in the roadway roughly 5 minutes later. The plane was scheduled to fly to Cherokee Regional Airport in Canton, North Carolina. The Federal Aviation Administration says the pilot was forced to make an emergency landing due to engine issues. This is all we know right now. Still continuing to bring you the latest news all this afternoon as we are, if you follow our YouTube Shorts page, we have been a little delayed on those, I know, but of course we are getting back to that. But we still want to continue to follow some heartbreaking news. Excuse me. They are still continuing to search. If you're joining us now live, we are still following breaking news after they are still continuing to search for Nancy Guthrie as she has now been gone missing for several days now. We still are, excuse me, we are continuing to follow them and will be continuing to follow the story on when and they find Nancy. Of course, they ask, Savannah's family is reaching out, asking you to help find her mother. Um, we do know, of course, with the latest updates that, um, if you've been following our YouTube Shorts page, that some latest updates cannot be exactly put out yet, but of course Nancy Guthrie's family says her return is only, excuse me, Savannah Guthrie, which is her daughter, says we believe our mom is still out there. We do know that Savannah posted a video this morning saying the family believes Nancy is still out there, and in part quote, "We are at an hour of desperation." She continued, in part quote, as stating, "As we need your help." We do know that today, as CNN affiliate KGUN previously reported, citing a purported ransom note sent to the station. The note included a threat to Guthrie's life if the deadline isn't met, according to KGUN. That is, according to them, police are still investigating. According to the police, there have been no suspects named for the search of the 84-year-old, and it enters its second week. Law enforcement officials were at her home Sunday and were also seen at the home of her daughter, Annie, late Saturday. And here on News 2, we are still following, or just now following, just into our newsroom after an upstate school, after law enforcement arrives at an upstate school and uh, and responds after an alert activation had been activated. In Oconee, South Carolina, a report of possible shots fired outside the school triggered a law enforcement response on Monday at Northside Elementary School. The Oconee County School District says an employee thought he heard or she heard gunshots outside the school and activated the contingency alarm system. The system allows badge wearers to indicate a security concern inside or outside of the building. The alert triggers a law enforcement response and certain lockdown type protocols inside the school. The district says there was not a shooting in at the area. The Oconee Sheriff's Office says the deputies searched the area and the woods behind the school for any evidence of shots fired and persons in the area. Again, they urge any teachers, students, and staff that if they do see any threats or anything like that, of course, to report it. But again, they are still investigating that, but there is no active threat on campus. And again, also, the police said that there was a possible car that backfired just a few miles away and heard that as well. Well, let's take you outside right now to our traffic as how are we looking? We're looking about a little bit of a slowdown here on I-85 southbound. That's at mile marker 57 in Greenville County, getting towards Spartanburg County. You can see drivers on that southbound lane are getting a little slow. Of course, we're gonna have our sky cams watching that for you. Um, but if you are in that area, of course, make sure that you are using caution. Of course, we just believe to be congestion, but of course, if you're in that area, make sure you're taking precautions. When we be right back, we'll have the latest on more breaking news in our area, plus our weather and other stuff for this coming week. We'll be right back. Yeah, we're back. Of course, we are still continuing to follow after a boil water advisory has been placed for Pendleton, South Carolina. We do know that the Pendleton Water Department has issued a boiled water advisory effective from February 9th, which is today at 1 p.m. They said due to the pressure loss from our water main repair affecting several streets, the advisory affects Clark Street, Hamburg Street, Jackson Street, and Morse Street. Where increasing sediment in the lines will be flushed and hydrants will be opened. Public work officials said residents may notice milky water due in injecting air into the lines. Well, let's look right now at our area wide as we are nice and dry, of course. Feeling that nice and dry. kind of warm outside, you know? No longer an alert day or an impact day, which is very nice. But over the next several hours, here's what the picture is going to look like. We're about 55 across Greenville Spartanburg over the next several hours. Going to stay dry and going to be dry for the rest of the week. So thank you for watching WFIN News 2 at 4, the little mini short segment. We hope you join us on our YouTube page.